What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Charge of the Charger Bulletin. I am your host, Hector. And the first piece of news that we have for you today is that this episode is the second to last for the school year, meaning for myself, since I'm graduating, this is the second to last episode I'll be hosting of Podcast Charge. Man, what a way to start an episode, right? Setting the mood. People are going to be like, yeah, he's finally leaving, or, oh, he's leaving. So, for me personally, creating Podcast Charge, there's a lot of feels going to be going around, but more on that in the last episode, which is next week. For this episode of Podcast Charge, it's probably one of the most packed ones yet with news stories. We have 5 stories to go over, and in routine, we'll go do a random topic of discussion that I've been wanting to talk about for quite some time. I usually keep my personal hobbies out of the way when it comes to this show because I like to keep it really straightforward or really with the guest, if we have a guest, what their topics are. But the topic I decided to choose today is fun one. I love talking about it. I love writing it. It's actually one of the directions I want to go for in a career eventually. So we'll talk more about that later in the episode. But of course, Podcast Charge, for those of you who are not aware of it and you're watching for the first time, it is it's a podcast that is sponsored by the Charger Bulletin, which is University of New Haven's newspaper, which you can grab on the racks on University of New Haven every Wednesday, or you go to chargerbulletin.com if you're not a student, or you can follow us on Charger Bulletin at Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, do all that kind of stuff. Also, you pick up the paper because we have some great articles written there. Of course, you can go to the website as well if you're not a student. Again, chargerbulletin.com. It's all going to be a link in the description below. So let's get straight to the stories of Podcast Charge. So what we do is we talk about the stories for the University of New Haven that happened the week prior, and then we go into a random topic discussion with either chosen by myself or a special guest. But you see, we have no special guest today, just my room. So let's get straight into the stories right now. So the first thing that we have, I'm reading all up from the I guess the little teleprompters, release my computer screen that I have up for you here. So Chi Kappa Rho's 51st annual Virginia V. Parker fashion show happened in the past week. So on April 7th, so past 2 weeks, on April 7th, Chi Kappa Rho sorority held their 51st annual Virginia V. Parker fashion show. This year's theme was famous duos, and 7 duos competed. Famous duos that participated include Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, Shrek and Donkey, that's a good one, Bert and Ernie, and Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. The first round, all duos came out to a song that represented the duo. The duo walked the runway, then answered some questions based on their duo characters before getting judged. I wonder what kind of song Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump sung. I want to say something, but I won't. Intermission was a performance by the dance team Fully Charged, and assortment of skits performed by XKP sisters on famous things that have happened with celebrities, such as Robin Thicke, Miley Cyrus, I'm sure everybody remembers that one, Amanda Bynes, Kanye interrupting Taylor Swift, accepting her award, and the most recent Miss Universe pageant were among the skits performed. The Miss Universe pageant was because Steve Harvey said the wrong winner or something like that, and people chastised him. It was weird. Let's see. Prizes were awarded to the duo of Pauly D and Situation for the most money raised. Third place was awarded to Bert and Ernie, and second place to Clinton and Trump, and first to Shrek and Donkey. So awesome. A really lively fashion show. There's actually pictures up on chargerbulletin.com and in the Charger Bulletin newspaper if you want to check it out. There's some really cool pictures they have up there. I was laughing hysterically when I saw these pictures of Donkey and Shrek. It was amazing. I wish I would have went. Disabled labels are our next news story. So on April 12, 2014, the University of New Haven campus filled with events to educate campus on the importance of taking the stigma off of mental illness. The Accessibility Resource Center and Delta Alpha Phi Alta, I can't pronounce these Greek, man. Delta Alpha Pi, there you go, Honor Society, along with numerous co-sponsors, planned the full day of events. There were discussions for student and faculty to go listen about the Wounded Warrior Project and the rights available to a person with disabilities, as well as adapted sports in the Beckman Recreation Center, which gave students the opportunity to play baseball in wheelchairs. Woo! That was a mouthful. Other events included a student panel where students with disabilities answered both questions they had prepared had open floor for the audience to ask questions to help bridge the gap and let students understand that there are students on this campus that struggle every day with disability, some of whom most don't even notice. The afternoon had the first Disabled Label Fair, where co-sponsors held tables, sub and bar tables, programming space, and student dining room, as well as outside on the patio. Students were able to go to tables and learn about dyslexia, schizophrenia, and other disabilities, along with fun activities such as petting therapy dogs, having their character drawn, getting a balloon animal, and free cotton candy, popcorn, and hot dogs. So a lot was happening in the Disabled Label event. And I guess is bringing out awareness. What New Haven really does best with like its societies and its sororities and fraternities to bring out awareness about disabilities or even mental illness or sexual assault. So a lot of stuff like that floats around. The campus, like the idea of just being aware of this kind of stuff and what we can do to cope with is not the right word, but just to help other people with these problems and what we can do to prevent them. So the next thing we have here is Sigma Alpha Epsilon's Angry Bros. So on Wednesday, April 13th from 12 to 4 p.m., Sigma Alpha Epsilon hosted Angry Bros in the Victor Botchman Quad. As a play on the Angry Birds game, students could buy water balloons to throw at SAE brothers who hid behind cardboard boxes set up in front of the forms of castles. It was $1 for 3 balloons, $3 for 10 balloons, and $5 to dump a bucket of ice water at any of the brothers. The event presented a great opportunity for the brothers SAE as well as the campus community to laugh and have a good time, especially in this time of near the end of classes, right, and finals and tests. The event raised money to support UNH chapter Sigma Alpha Epsilon. Quote, Angry Bros is not only one of the best ways to bond with my brothers, but also a great way to raise money for our chapter, unquote, SAE brother Nash Kyrie said. Kyrie or I keep saying Kyrie from Kingdom Hearts series, so I'm gonna say Kyrie. I'm sorry for pronouncing your last name right or last name wrong, Nash. Awesome first name, by the way. But again, another great event happening in University of New Haven. Again, there's full of these that go on in University of New Haven. There's a lot that goes on in the campus that personally I never knew about since I was a commuter and I was always just a floater when it came to being on campus. So the fact that reading about this kind of stuff and just being happy and being knowing that things like this are happening around the campus are enlightening and fun, especially during this time, again, through stress and through the tests and finals that are happening as of right now for the school. All right, so I'm going to stop saying the word happening because I said it like 10 times within the past 5 minutes. Take Back the Night is our next article. On April 12th, the University of New Haven Victimology Club held their annual Take Back the Night event to help survivors know that they are not alone. Again, bringing back more awareness and helping people out with their past events, I want to say. This event is geared toward victims and survivors of sexual assault as well as those who support them. It is held nationwide both on college campuses and in communities to bring awareness to sexual violence. The event is held with the intent to stand up and show unity and began with statistics to show how serious sexual assault is. And I'm sure a lot of us have heard, at least for people that are using New Haven, right? People that are in criminal justice classes, we know the statistics of sexual assault and all those kinds of horrible crimes. So we understand like the levity and not really, we don't understand people's situations and what they go through, but more just how grave it is and how serious that we should take it and to help other people when they have this sort of problem. And it'll be beneficial to know how to help people as well, because this is one of those things you really can't understand from the other person's perspective. Like if I was helping out a victim of sexual assault, I would not say, "Oh, I understand your pain." Like, no, I don't understand your pain because I've never been in that situation. But for stuff like this, Take Back the Night, all these people got together and they really support each other through those times because, in their sense, they do understand, right? Let's see. The night gave survivors an open floor to take back the night they were assaulted and share their story in a completely confidential and safe place where nothing will be reported. The room was filled with supportive friends and peers who were there to cheer each other on for overcoming the battles life has given them. The night concluded with a moment of silence as everyone shared why they were there or who they were there for and took each other's hands in support. The following day, the Victimology Club held a day of healing with crafts to give people a chance to decompress and recover from the emotionally charged night. And the last story I have for you here is Alpha Sigma Kappa initiates beta class. So on Saturday, April 16th, the ladies of I almost messed that up. I almost said Iona because my sister went to Iona College. Is Iota chapter of Alpha Sigma Kappa. So on Saturday, April 16th, the ladies of Iota chapter of Alpha Sigma Kappa, Women in Technical Studies, initiated its beta class. The first class has been initiated since the sorority was installed on March 5th, 2016, my birthday. That's where I turned 22. Alpha Sigma Kappa is one of the newer sororities on campus. It is a social sorority that is catered to women in science, technology, engineering, and math majors. They're the true MVPs. It was founded on May 1st, 1989 at the University of Minnesota. The sorority promotes friendship, leadership, and support for women in these fields where they are usually a minority. The sorority initiated 10 girls from various sciences majors such as forensic science, marine biology, mechanical engineering, chemistry, and many more. And it's very varied too. I mean, that's not like they're not in the same colleges at all. The beta, or most of them, the beta class was wearing all white as part of a tradition set forth by the chapter. After the ceremony, the beta class received their first set of letters, which were the chapter letters. Many photos were taken with all families in big little pairings. The next day was another small ceremony where the bigs presented their littles with the family letters, and the littles gave their bigs their paddles. And I never knew that was actually a thing in sororities or fraternities where you have a big and a little. I think that's actually really cool. I know one of my friends who's part of a fraternity or sorority. Sorry, I don't really know the differentiation between the male and female ones. I think it's sororities for females. Anyway, she has a little, and she's very she feels inspired the fact that she can come back to school and see like her little here and growing up through college, and soon to be her little's gonna be graduating in another 3 or 4 years too. So and she gets to come back and see all that. So I think that's pretty cool that they have this sort of seniors, these part of sorority fraternity, have this sort of legacy living on through their sisters or their brother. I think that's a really cool thing. It's another reason to come back to school and just see how much has changed and all that kind of stuff. So that's all we have for the stories here on Podcast Charge. Again, there's more stories you can look up through chargerbulletin.com, or you can pick up the newspaper on the racks in New Haven every Wednesday. I actually wrote a nice little review of the Jungle Book movie, the 2016 one that just came out. Excellent movie. Go check out my review on the chargerbulletin.com website. So let's get straight into the random topic of discussion. And again, it's what I wanted to be talking about for a long time, but I kind of just put on a sidetrack because I'm a huge nerd and geek about this kind of stuff, and that's video games. So, video games, it's encompassing, and it has encompassed my life. So ever since I was, how old was I? I want to say 8 years old was when I really started to love video games. Like, I always liked video games here and there, playing with my cousins or maybe sometimes at home, but I was more of a TV guy. I loved watching television. I loved watching Nickelodeon. Disney Channel was my life. Disney's still my life now, as you can maybe see. Actually, there's nothing around me that's Disney, but trust me, I have a pretty awesome collection. So, video games didn't really speak out to me until 2002, which I was 8 years old. And that was one of the games called Kingdom Hearts. And this game was awesome because I loved Disney already. Like, I was a huge fan of Disney growing up. And this game was an adventure of a boy named Sora who would travel different worlds. And these different worlds were Disney worlds. So in my mind, as a little kid, I always wanted to have my own adventures with Mickey and Donald and Tarzan and Hercules and Alice from Alice in Wonderland. I was so enamored and in love with the idea of just going on an adventure with these characters. And Kingdom Hearts was that avenue for me. Kingdom Hearts was that one game that was like, yeah, you want to go on an adventure with these Disney characters? Well, guess what? You're able to. And they're going to be meaningful, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be lively, and it's going to have nice callbacks to the movies and stuff like that. And that's what Kingdom Hearts was to me. That's why I love it so much. That's why I got a nice tattoo of it on here. And then when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2006, that's when I really started to understand, video games are going somewhere. They're gonna be a huge player in the entertainment industry. When it's aside from movies and TV shows, like, people take their movies and TV shows pretty seriously, right? There are serious entertainment medium that a lot of people digest and take out of when it comes to like themes and how certain things are made. Video games are starting to creep up on that, and now they're probably one of they are one of the biggest money makers in the industry. But they also mean a lot to a lot of different people, especially now. Like we're getting to the point in technology where video games are starting to look super realistic, and we're getting to the point now where artists and creators and writers really want to make a meaningful experience with player-driven experience, and that to me that's amazing. One of the standout titles in the most recent years is The Last of Us by the studio who has done Uncharted, Jack and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot for all those 90s kids out there. This studio started with a platformer called Crash Bandicoot, right? And now they've grown throughout the years, and now they've had this awesome, amazing, grossing experience and won over 200 Game of the Year awards game called The Last of Us. That's because of its narrative and its experience was just so on point. And to me personally, I love video games because of those experiences. I mean, a lot of my background was in Japanese role-playing games where there's a big expansive world you can explore. There's it's most of it's just fantasy